Last episode, we talked about the price of the van and what the plans are moving forward with the new van. This episode, we're going to actually start building out the van. So let's get right into the breakdown. Like we talked about in the first episode, we want to start with the base where we can slide some speed rails, we can slide some ramps, and that's exactly where we started. So the base was the first thing that we had to assemble, and there were a couple decisions that went into actually putting the base together. And the first one was there's a black mat that was on the floor of the van. We need to decide if we were going to leave that there or if we're going to pull that up. We ended up deciding to leave it there and just put the base right over top of it. The second problem we were facing was the wheel wells. There were some goofy angles, and we had to decide whether or not we wanted to just go straight and then leave the wheel wells out, or if we were going to build around them. And we did a little bit of a hybrid build. In the footage here, you can see that when the base goes down towards the front end of the van, we did some notches so it would stick out a little bit further than it does at the back of the van. We built the whole base outside of the van in the garage, and then at the very end, we just stuck it in there. Moving on to the shelves on the side of the van that we talked about in episode 1. There were two things I wanted with these shelves. Two simple things. That's all I asked for. And one of them was a lip. So at the bottom of these shelves, when we slide the milk crates in, they don't go flying out towards the middle of the van. So I needed a lip on the bottom layer and I needed a lip on the top layer. That was the first thing that I requested. And then the second thing I requested is that it just fits 8 milk crates. And the problem was that we couldn't really build it vertical because the van isn't tall enough to do 4 rows of 2. So we couldn't go really vertical. We had to go horizontal, almost like a bench. So we did 2 shelves, 4 milk crates across on each one of them. And then our next problem we ran into was, what do we want to do for the top of these shelves? In episode 1, the original drawing had some spaces for some pelicans up top. That didn't happen. We're not putting pelicans on top. It was too much building and it was too much going on, and we didn't know how much space we were going to have before we hit the ceiling. So we decided that the production carts that we ordered fit the pelicans perfectly. So we're just going to keep the pelicans stored on those carts the whole time and then pull them in and out. But the question still remained, what are we going to do with the top of the milk crate shelves? And we decided that it is going to be best to put a little lip or a little barrier around the whole entire outside and just put space for C-stands. When I was using the van in the interim before we had the whole thing built out, I was having troubles on where to put my C-stands because you can't put them in the bottom base because the base depth is too long where the C-stands will just go too deep in there and then you're reaching and you're digging in the bottom of the base and you don't want to do that. So we needed a space that specifically fit C-stands and boom poles and other long, weird, awkward items like a backdrop or some type of pole. So we put that together. The C-stands fit perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better design for that. It ended up working out perfect. And we eliminated the C-stand issue I was having before. After all of that, after we figured out what we're doing with the shelves and getting everything built, we screwed it all together, put the shelves on the very edge of the left side of the base. If you're looking at the back of the van, we screwed it into the floor. We glued it and screwed it actually, just for extra measure. And it's pretty sturdy now. So thank you guys for watching episode 2 of the van build out series. Jeremy, thank you again for all of the work in building the shelves and building the base and telling me what I need to buy at Menards. Stay tuned for episode 3 next week, where we put some rubber flooring, we paint the shelves, we paint everything, make it look nice and pretty. And then after that episode, we're going to go over the full entire van build out and exactly how I load my van and unload my van when I go to shoots, and just show you the whole process of using the van. If you like these videos and you want to see more videos on filmmaking, these 2 videos over here might be wonderful for you, or they might not be. But hey, give them a shot. Consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next week for episode 3 of the van build out series. If you're on a YouTube binge, you want to watch a couple more videos that might satisfy your filmmaking video production needs, these 2 videos right here should do the trick.